What's good? We back in the building. 3kingsboxing.com. It's your boy 2K. Of course, I'm joined with my man Bo. How you doing today, dog?
Yo, man, doing good on the weekend. Oh, my bad. Today is Monday. Monday not part of the weekend. My bad. But doing
I already
good.
know where that's going.
I'm doing good. My only complaint is, maybe I would like to, do the intro. I kind of miss doing the intros, but outside of that, I'm doing good.
He said I missed it. Yeah, I did kind of steal that shit from you, man. The
name of the show is The Prodigy, so
I mean, I didn't even alert you and be like, hey, man, we're gonna put it on my channel, and I'll do the intros. I didn't even alert you. It's just
Amen. All I can say to that is, it's good being the boss.
It is what it is. It is what it is. That's my saying for the week, man.
Yeah, right.
Yo, of course, we're going to start episode 7. Let me start off with a disclaimer, and then I got a message after that, but we're going to do the disclaimer real quick. Understand, boxers, trainers, managers, promoters, if you hear us talking about you or maybe the fighters that you manage or the fighters that you promote, any family members of, if you're a family member of the fighter, et cetera, understand we like to talk a little shit. It's about entertaining the people that are listening to this podcast. We do respect all fighters that enter the ring and put their life on the line for their own entertainment and for that bag, obviously, right? We do respect the fighters, but we love the sport. So understand, if you have a problem with anything we say, it's just entertainment. But if you do have a problem, you can always come see me. All right? And of course, a little message. This podcast right here is not rated G, as y'all already know. So sometimes we got to address some of the cockhead motherfuckers out there. And let me say something, man. There's a cat who shall remain nameless who, we treated him badly, bro.
We or you?
Yeah. No, we. Because he spent a lot of time trying to get our attention.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Sending us stuff, messaging us. Hey, guys, I'm here. I want to talk. And we would just be like, man, fuck out of here, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I got one coming out of my nose. Don't do that. I know you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
You dirty motherfucker.
And listen, man, we didn't mean to do you like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes, man, when you whack, you just get that kind of treatment. You know what I'm saying? And apparently, this same whack motherfucker that spent months of trying to get our attention has come out and said, evidently, my YouTube channel sucks. He got into a little thing with me. I told him, hey, come debate. He didn't want to debate because he felt that he would be doing my channel a service if he comes on my channel and debates me, because he's, quote, his words, a big fish, because he was on shows like 78. Hey, yo, shout out to 78, one of our direct affiliates, by the way. This motherfucker had no idea about that. But, I'm like, oh, you was on 78 show. That's cute. I could call the nigga right now and have a personal conversation with him. You know what I'm saying? So apparently he's the big fish. I guess Bo, he doesn't own a website. He doesn't have a YouTube channel. This motherfucker doesn't even have a boxing group on Facebook where he has people come and congregate into his group to talk about boxing. He don't even have that. You know what I'm saying? But somehow he's a big fish to where guys like us, I'm the owner of a website that is growing rapidly in the year and a half that it's been out. We've already been to numerous fights. We have all the major promotional companies and smaller promotional companies sending us press releases on the daily. Hell, we were even featured on ESPN. I guess he didn't go to the Facebook page that we have, or Twitter or Instagram where the shit is at. And the motherfucker didn't look to see, oh, damn, that's 2K right there on ESPN standing right in front of Max Kellerman. If y'all haven't seen it, Max Kellerman's first show of his new show on ESPN2, Max on Boxing, I was featured on there. But I guess he's still bigger than us, even though that has happened for Three Kings Boxing. You know what I'm saying? So the message I got for the big fish out there with no YouTube channel, no website, no boxing group, not even a couple of niggas that even know him that would say, hey, he's the shit. He has nobody vouching for him. The message I got for you is, get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me? Let's get into the show, dog. Shout out to all of our affiliates, Pep Talk UK, 78 Sports TV, Boxing Broadcast, World Fight Camp, Brawlers Boxing, whole lot more where that came from. Guess we just little wigs. Anyway, man.
MTK Global.
Yeah, we won't talk about none of that. That's it, though. We're going to leave it right there. We little wigs.
Okay.
We little wigs. Yeah, my YouTube channel ain't shit. He's right about that. If you put, well, how long has this channel been out? Since 2015, right? October 2015. Yep. I've been on so many fucking layoffs.
That was, you remember, that was the gods of boxing. We're not talking about before.
But check this out. But if you put together all my layoffs, that probably equals about 2.5 years. You know what I'm saying? So deduct that from the date the channel went up. This channel has only been alive literally for like 2 years, bro. And I don't even really fuck with it like that. But that's cool. He's right about YouTube. But what can you do that's in direct competition of my fucking website and us being featured on ESPN? Nothing. Let's jump into it, man.
All right, man.
Anyway, man, hot topic. Is Erislandy Lara a threat at 154 pounds? Bruh, listen, after this fight this past weekend with Brian Castano, that's how I say it, right? Come on, Bo. Hey, y'all heard Bo's interview with Oscar Rivas.
Oh, you dirty motherfucker. You dirty motherfucker.
Hey, go one video down from this one. Bo is talking 100% fluent Spanish with Oscar Rivas. So let me know, Bo. Am I saying it right? Castellano? Am I saying it right?
You saying it right, man. Castellano.
Right. Shout out to Bo, man. And one of the people that is a big supporter of us, he called Bo a legend. And there was nothing I could say about that. He's absolutely right, man. Being able to do something like that was an excellent interview. Our very first all Spanish interview. Make sure y'all go and check that shit out, man. All right. But Erislandy Lara against Brian Castano, that is a major storyteller for me, dog. Because I'm looking at the fight and I'm seeing that Erislandy Lara has his legs for about 6 or 7 rounds.
Yep.
Tops. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, the questions were already there against Jarrett Hurd. And I always thought that, well, he fought Jarrett Hurd in the pocket because he wanted to show people, hey, I can also be an exciting fighter. You know what I'm saying? And I think majority of him not moving around had to do, you know, with that. Hey, I'm an exciting fighter. I'm going to show the fans I can fight an exciting style. You know, I don't have to always move around the ring and make it a boring fight like I did in my last fight before Jarrett Hurd against Terrell Gausha. You know what I'm saying? So, and he all but said that in the interview in the prelude to this fight with Brian Castano. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he said, yo, I show people that I can be a candidate for Fight of the Year. And he did, right?
Yes, sir.
But Brian Castano's pressure was not the same as Jarrett Hurd's, right? And one thing that Erislandy Lara mentioned was that in the Jarrett Hurd fight, it wasn't the punches. It was his body and the pressure. It wore him down. He admitted that. He said the guy is huge and his body weight was weighing down on me as the fight wore on. Now, understand, Jarrett Hurd doesn't get tired, ever. He could take 1,000 punches, motherfucker's still coming forward. So you could just imagine how the smaller Erislandy Lara was being worn down by that bigger-ass man. You see what I'm saying? And he mentioned that. Castano is nowhere near the size of Jarrett Hurd. Actually, I don't think Castano is a big 154-pounder, to be honest with you. You see what I'm saying? He's actually, the way his frame and how he looked, he might be able to make 147, bro. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a rematch with Errol Spencer. That's either here nor there. He did beat Errol Spence in the amateurs. That's either here nor there. Point is, he could probably make 147, right?
Okay.
But the pressure was still there. And I still saw Erislandy Lara having trouble getting caught up on the ropes. I still saw that.
Yeah.
Also, what was upsetting me, and Bo knows, we was on the phone watching the movie, watching the movie. Basically, what it was.
Hold on,
that's basically what it was. It was like a movie. I'm telling you, bro. The fucking story was unfolding right in front of my eyes. The story of Erislandy Lara, right? The conclusion of his career. It was unfolding right in front of my eyes, dog. You know what I'm saying? Getting caught up against the ropes. This motherfucker would not go to the body to save his fucking life, man. Now, we know he's always been that fighter he headhunts, right? Mm-hmm. He's always been the 1-2 kind of guy. Jab, jab, straight left hand. Jab, jab, straight left hand, right? He's always been that guy. But understand, when you become older, you can't always rely on the skills that got you to where you were at when you were younger, right? Especially dealing with your legs. Your legs are one of the first things to go as you age. You see what I'm saying? So just like what Floyd Mayweather had to do, Mayweather was battling two things, his legs and his brittle ass hands.
Oh man, wasn't he though?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he was battling two things, dog. You know what I'm saying? So what Floyd had to do is he had to use his mental makeup, his high-level IQ to make the necessary adjustments so that he can win fights he may not have won if he didn't make adjustments. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Erislandy Lara is at a point in his career where he needs to learn how to do that same thing. You got to use your IQ to make the necessary adjustments. Just like my man Julio Ortega just said. Let me say his name right. Julio Ortega just said. You know what I'm saying? Like that tongue roll, bro. I'm a nigga, but I know how to roll the tongue. His legs are gone.
You in rare fucking mode, dog. You're killing it.
His legs are gone. He's right. Julio's right, bro. I think
it's more than just his legs. But go ahead, because it's more than just his legs. I think what a lot of cats forget is Erislandy Lara was one of those fighters that the problem with most of your Cuban fighters, especially the most successful Cuban fighters who go on to win the gold medals and all that, their legs is their main foundation and focus of the way they fight.
Absolutely.
So everything is built off of their ability to use their legs. When they can't use their legs, they have nothing to build off. That's why when Rigo wasn't able to use his legs and pivot against, when he was able to pivot, but wasn't able to use his legs to do nothing else against Lomachenko. That's why that fight turned out the way it did. Same thing with Erislandy Lara. Same thing with Rance Bartholomew when he changed his style of fighting to try to be more.
Oh God!
See what I'm saying? Their legs is the foundation that everything is built off of. They build everything off being able to use their legs, which is the reason why his legs going. It actually is one of them things where you think his ring IQ is not there. It's not that his ring IQ is not there. It's just that he don't know how to go to anything else, because why? The very foundation of the way he fight isn't there no more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And that's a major problem. Mm-hmm. You know, he's got to learn. First of all, Erislandy Lara at this point in his career has got to get an inside game. Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Inside fighting, and me and Bo talked about this in our many conversations off the air. If we just recorded us talking, man, it'd be all sorts of boxing content for you cats. You know what I'm saying? Fighting on the inside, which is my specialty when I was a fighter. Fighting on the inside is a completely different game than what you see in boxing in general.
Shit, when you 5'9", 200 plus, motherfucker, inside fighting is a mother.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you really literally got to go to. Now I'm taller than that, you know what I'm saying, and I'm around the same weight, but that's just what I did. I love going to the body. You know what I'm saying? I love beating the motherfucker's body up and making them drop. And when you're fighting on the inside, you got to maneuver your head. You got to maneuver your shoulders. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're using your elbows on this. There's a whole lot that goes on the inside that a lot of motherfuckers can't see. Exactly. You can't see it sitting on your couch watching the TV, dog. You see what I'm saying? And this is one of the things I've always said. If you are known to not have an inside game and your pro career has already started, there's probably a chance you'll never learn it.
Yeah.
Right? This is one of the major advantages that Floyd Mayweather had. This motherfucker knew how to fight on the inside as he got older. It's something he already knew how to do growing up, And as he got older, he honed in on it and mastered it. That's why he was able to do things on the inside as an older man, right?
Correct.
I'll direct attention to Vladimir Klitschko. I said the reason why Tyson Fury was going to beat that ass before that fight happened was because
I remember that.
Exactly, because Tyson Fury was going to turn Vladimir Klitschko into an inside fighter, something he's never been known for. Vladimir Klitschko has zero ins. This nigga got negative inside game, -1. His inside game, -1. You know what I'm saying? So I knew Tyson Fury was going to beat that ass because he was going to turn him into an inside fighter. Right now, the way Erislandy Lara fights, dog, he's got to learn. I don't know how he does it, Bo, but he's got to learn how to have some type of inside game that can save him when his legs are gone. As the guys mentioned in the chat here, plenty of them have mentioned already that he had trouble in the clinch with Brian Castano. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that he's having trouble in the clinch like that, you got to add to your tools when you're on the inside and you're forced into a clinch. You see what I'm saying? So me personally, Bo, he's been, if he would have won this fight, he would have been the WBA regular champion and would have put him in prime position to get a rematch with WBA super champion Jarrett Hurd. I don't think he wins a rematch, dog. I mean, the first in this situation, the first fight was his only shot. Because now, from what I've seen against Castano, he can't beat Jarrett Hurd, man. What do you think about that?
Well, here's the thing. I think people got to understand one thing about Erislandy Lara was this was bound to happen for him. And it was, because if you watch Erislandy Lara's career, his whole career, he's never adapted to change any part of his style because he solely depended on his ability to use his legs, his ability to build off of that and use the angles, right? He's always been, think about this. He did something this fight we always seen him do. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 move, 1-2 step, 1-2, 1-2, 3 hook move. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's kind of been like, he's always been a 1-2 type of fighter, and then move, build, and then whatever there, then counter, straight left. Right. So he's never adjusted his game. But the biggest problem of that is now that, okay, a while back, that was good for you because he had the legs to move left, move right, get off the ropes. Okay. He doesn't know how to get off the ropes. He's never learned. His clinch game has always been non-existent. Okay, I don't care.
Right.
His clinch game has always been non-existent, and the reason being is Erislandy Lara is not strong enough to clinch and hold you in the clinch.
Right.
I
agree with that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? The thing about the Cuban style of fighting is they don't necessarily teach you stuff like that. They don't necessarily teach you clinching and how to clinch and things like that. Right. Okay. They more grab than clinch. They grab. They don't necessarily see. And a lot of you are gonna say, "Bo, what's the difference?" There's a difference between a clinch and a grab. A clinch and 2K will tell you this: we inside fighting. I sometimes I'll get around, I'll grab your arm and I'll pin your arm against my body with one hand and use the free hand. That's clinching you. Grabbing you is when I'm just making it so obvious. Ref, please help me.
Yeah.
You know, that's a grabbing you is, oh, ref, please help me. So when I look at this, what I saw, and this was the thing we was going to be looking for, he had a lot of time off. We thought, okay, with all this time off, maybe it might have did him good because he's 35 years old, right? I think at this point in Erislandy's career, it's more than just his body. I also think it's his psyche. I think in his mind, he realizes he's going so far with his overall ability that now that Father Time is catching up with you, the ability to apply the basics, which is something you have not had to do, you don't know how to do it. And then given the trainer that you have that never maybe continuously worked on that with you, it's now become evident that this is a problem for him that cannot be fixed. Why? Because the number one thing he relies on is no longer there, which is his legs. And once you lose your legs in boxing, which is why I applaud Floyd, he worked on every part of his craft. Once you lose your legs in boxing, that's it. Because once you lose your legs, I don't care how much reflexes you got. I don't care how much punching power you got. I don't care how tough you think you are. Once you lose your legs, that's it. The rest of the body goes with your goddamn legs. And once you lose that, that's pretty much, in my mind, that's it. So Erislandy Lara, I think from a mental standpoint, it's starting to realize that the most undefeated factor in all of anything we do in life, which is Father Time, has finally hit him and caught up with him. And this fight is a realization there, because again, he was I'm gonna tell you where else he was getting beat at. He was getting beat at old boy Castano jumping on him in spurts, so much so that he was extremely effective.
Yeah,
extremely effective, because it wasn't like he was like Lara would win the first minute and a half, maybe even 2 minutes of the fight, but dude would jump on him in the last minute and be so effective. And you can see the effect. You can see the effect actually doing some damage to Lara as the fight went on. So yeah, no, he doesn't beat he doesn't beat any of the, like Tony Harrison. I don't think he beats any of these guys now. I just really don't. I don't think he beats any of these guys now.
Yeah, man, it's a difficult situation. I don't disagree with what you're saying about his mental makeup as of right now. The only thing I would say to combat that, or to be, I guess, a devil's advocate in the situation, is I'm not sure Lara has checked out mentally, because he believes he won 8 rounds of this fight.
Yeah.
And if he really believes that, let's say he's not talking shit, just playing to the cameras. He really went back to the locker room and went home to that fine ass piece of meat he got waiting on him every night. You know what I'm saying? He actually went home to her and was like, "Yeah, I feel like I won 8 rounds." You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's mentally checked out, because
I don't think he's mentally checked out. I just think mentally he has to realize that he just can't do it no more. He can't just rely on that one aspect of his game anymore.
He will need to realize that. I agree with that.
Okay.
But that type of delusion, thinking that you really won 8 rounds in this particular fight, that right there will keep you from ever realizing what your flaws are and what your weakness is now as you're getting older.
I agree with that.
Those type of dudes with that kind of delusional thought process, them motherfuckers are like Roy Jones Jr. fighting at age 72, still thinking he could be a contender at light heavyweight and cruiserweight. You see what I'm saying? That's what happens to those guys. So, Erislandy Lara, to me, let's say if he's not playing to the camera and he's not just talking shit, to me, he's going to end up being one of those guys, 40 years old, still thinking he can move around the fucking ring. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, hell yeah.
So, it is what it is. What's good, Chris? But, we'll see, man. Somebody said in here that he beats Kell Brook at 154.
Well, Kell Brook is pretty much damaged goods. Kell Brook can't. Yeah. I don't see Kell Brook beating none of the top guys at 154. Now, I tell you what, that's a fight I would like to see, because Kell Brooks is not a big 154 pounder, and Kell Brooks he's not one of those dudes that will physically impose himself either. He's more would try to I'm not gonna say box, but he won't do what Castano does. He's just not that type of fighter.
I'll tell you what I seen Kell Brook do against, or let me say this, how bad I saw him look against Michael Zarafa. Even though he won virtually every round, he looked bad winning rounds.
Yes, he did.
Michael Zarafa actually looked good against him. Michael Zarafa's stock should have actually risen. You know what I'm saying? I think that Erislandy Lara still beats Kell Brook. He looked bad against Michael Zarafa, man. Michael Zarafa is nowhere near a masterclass type of boxer. He's nowhere near a masterclass type of mover. Actually, Michael Zarafa at his best against Kell Brook still looked worse than Lara in the fight against Castano. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So absolutely, I believe he will beat a Kell Brook. I think he beats Tony Harrison. I know Bo mentioned he might not beat him, but I do think he beats Tony.
I think Tony Harrison is just too athletic for him.
I think he beats
Tony Harrison is too athletic for him, man.
I think this is the thing. Tony doesn't throw enough punches. Here's the thing. You beat Erislandy Lara with pressure right now because you force him to not be able to move, to use. Let me say this. You force him to have to use his legs for the majority of the fight, to the point where by the middle rounds, he's tired and his legs are gone completely. Pressure beats him right now. Tony Harrison's going to be on the outside, and he doesn't throw a lot of punches. So he's going to be trying to box Erislandy Lara. He's going to allow him to be comfortable. He's going to allow him to be content in the ring. So he's going to at least allow Erislandy Lara to be in his element. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the dude Peter Quillen knocked out natural. Yeah. But anyway, if he's allowing him to be in his element, he can't beat him. You see what I'm saying? Now, Jermell Charlo would beat him because he wouldn't allow him to be in his element. Jermell Charlo is going to apply pressure behind the jab.
Well, plus Jamar probably has sparred him, so he had somebody like he sparred him and everything like that. They used to be in the same camp, so he pretty much knows Erislandy Lara. But yeah, I hear what y'all saying. I just think that from an athletic standpoint, I just think Tony Harrison would just be too much for him athletically, especially with the way he moves, and he does have some good pop on that. Because you got to understand something about Lara is he has a very nice jab. You got to understand something about Erislandy Lara is he does it like Erislandy Lara is not one of those guys that try to catch you while he waits for you to stop punching, then tries to catch you or catch you coming in. Like he was able to catch Castano yesterday. He caught him a couple times coming in, making those mistakes. Well, Harrison is not going to make them kind of mistakes. Harrison will stay on the outside and make him come to him, and he'll jab, move, jab, and he will cause Erislandy Lara to have to use them legs. And after 6th round, when he can't, I think the athleticism of Harrison would just be a little bit too much for Lara. But that would be a good fight. I just don't, in my opinion, what I saw yesterday, it's really hard now. Given what we saw from Lara Saturday, it's really hard now when you start looking at these matchups to figure out, because there's, like you said, pressure beats him. But when you don't have your legs and another guy do have his legs, that could be another way of beating him. So it'll be an interesting fight, man.
Yeah, it's actually an interesting fight that we may never see. You know what I'm saying? Because it just, at this point, their careers are going different directions. Of course, Jermell Charlo is going to get the rematch with Tony Harrison. Erislandy Lara is, in my opinion, is chasing one big ass fight, and that's against Jarrett Hurd. So it's actually, it's actually kind of interesting to see what the fuck Lara's going to do next. I know both of them him and Castano talked about a rematch, but as I always say, man, when cats go back into that locker room and they get to talking and the managers start to getting into their ears, you never know what the manager of Castano was telling them. Like, hey, dog, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, that was a close-ass fight, dog. I know you felt you won and shit, B, but look, man, that motherfucker was tough, man. Look, your stock just rose, dog. Let's go after somebody else. Jaime Munguia, dog.
This stock did just rise big time.
Yeah. Big time. Let's go after Jaime Munguia, somebody like that. Let's defend the title a couple times before we revisit that. Anything could happen. You see what I'm saying? So we'll see what's up, man. Let's move on to the next one. Bo, what you got, dog?
Yeah, man. I can't believe we wasted that much time talking about some goddamn Erislandy Lara.
It's the top topic, man. We gotta get that shit some love, man.
Man, we giving, man. Oh, that was the top. That was you, mother. That was the top topic.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Man, I would have rather seen anything else as the top topic than that shit. Man, we spent all that much time. I could have been doing something more important, like nothing.
Oh man.
Hey, you know what though? Hey, listen. I fucks with Erislandy Lara. I'm on him a lot about Demetrius Andrade, but I give it to him, man. You have to, when you look at that man's career, I think he got something like 3 draws or whatever. Yeah. There's a lot of fights where he should not have any. He shouldn't have, like. There's a lot of fights, man, where his record should be better than what it is.
Bro, Erislandy Lara is very, very arguably undefeated.
Yeah.
I felt he lost to Jarrett Hurd. A lot of people thought he lost to Jarrett Hurd, but a lot of people thought he beat him. I thought he beat Canelo, and I thought he beat Paul Williams. So in my eyes, he has 1 loss.
Yeah. Now, what's funny is you can honestly make the argument that the Harrison fight should really be his legit loss. You can really make that argument. I mean, not the Hurd fight. That the Hurd fight is literally could be his legit loss. So yeah, we give him that, man. All right, man.
What you got for me, man? What you got, bro? Don't be shy.
This something I'm passionate about. Lawrence Okolie and Dillian Whyte got beef, right? They all on Twitter and going back and forth. Okolie's talking about somehow he think he can knock him out and all that, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for cats having pride in themselves, man. But I want to know what the fuck is up with motherfuckers violating the goddamn boxing code of leaking sparring tapes.
I'm telling you, bro.
That shit used to be a no-no.
Bro, we talked about this earlier, man. Like, there's not even supposed to be fucking cameras in the goddamn gym when 2 big names about to spar. And I'm not saying that Lawrence Okolie's a huge name or anything of that nature, but I'm just saying he's a professional. He's a professional prospect. who's being highly touted and being pushed as one of the top cruiserweights right now. You don't turn the fucking cameras on a sparring session with one of the top heavyweights in the division.
Let me tell you something. Let me say this. Lawrence Okolie is a fighter that whenever he fights, yo, like this real talk, man. Whenever Lawrence Okolie fights, my dude, I don't sit in my chair and watch this fight. I lay down on the couch. You know why? Because I know at any moment I'm gonna fall asleep.
Right? Yeah.
I know any moment I'm gonna fall asleep. Like Lawrence Okolie is one of those fighters that his clinch percentage is higher than his connect percentage.
Yeah, boy, that hey, what'd you say that clinch percentage was, bro?
100%.
motherfucker hell on them clinches, bro.
Yeah, dog. And that oh man.
Hey, bro, don't get caught by that counter clinch. That's all I'm saying, man. Right. Hey, you
don't get caught by the uppercut clinch.
You fuck around, get caught by that counter clinch, nigga. This over. Game over.
You know what I'm saying? Don't get, you know what I'm saying? Don't get caught with that straight right clinch.
Hey, if y'all don't know what we're talking about, go look at this fight against Matty Askins. But I tell you, I warn you right now, before you watch that fight, make sure you take some fucking no-dos.
No
shit. You will go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? I had to write an article on that fucking fight, man. And it was the hardest article I've ever written in my life. That shit was terrible. But, Bo, you're correct, dog. They broke the code. Like, I understand. Listen, man, this that new age shit, man. This that new age shit, man. Yeah, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney footage was leaked as well. Because I remember seeing that when they were beefing. Now, I don't know who leaked it, but the fact of the matter is, like, if you go to the Mayweather gym, normally he's like, all cameras off. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. They walk around saying that because they walk around with a box collecting phones. Them niggas treat you like the CIA and shit. They walk like bank robbers. They walk around with a box collecting phones, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah, for real. Like, it's like you in high school and shit, you ain't supposed to have your cell phone no more. Yeah, same thing. You know, your phones are supposed to be fucking off. You know what I'm saying? And when those two were beefing, I remember that sparring session got leaked. Hell, let me say this. We can get exclusives for up-and-coming prospect Michael Williams Jr., right? Right. But even we weren't allowed to see footage of him sparring Shakur Stevenson. We weren't allowed to see that. You know what I'm saying? They let us see a taste of it. His father did, but I mean, for the whole footage, nope, couldn't put that up. No. So and we respect it because that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to allow anybody to see sparring footage, dog. That's breaking the bro. It's like y'all want to know what this is equivalent to? This is equivalent to you with your homeboy, right? You with your homeboy, right? Y'all out chilling and shit. Both of y'all niggas got women. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you know, some ass come your way, and it's some ass that you can't resist. And you telling your boy, like, damn, nigga, god damn, dog, look at that shit, dog. You know, I'm not a cheater or nothing like that, but damn, man, I gotta get that, nigga. I gotta get that. And you do it. And the next day, your girl is like, nigga, who the fuck was you with last night? Da, 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 da. And you're like, wait a minute, how'd you know? That nigga you was with last night told me. He broke the code. He broke the code. He told your girl who you was with. You see what I'm saying? This is what this is. Now, I'm hearing that Lawrence Okolie leaked the footage. But when we did some investigating and shit like that, we couldn't see that Lawrence Okolie leaked the footage. You know what I'm saying? The smoking gun wasn't there. The evidence wasn't there that he leaked the footage. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna let him slide on that. We're gonna give him a pass. You know what I mean? But if he did, man, listen, man, I hope the fight gets made later on down the line. Dillian Whyte knocks his ass out for breaking the code.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you something. It's one thing if we talk about, hey, we sparred. Like, I don't have a problem with cats talking about some, like when Teofimo Lopez said, yeah, I sparred Devin Haney. Kid ain't got no problem. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
That I have no problem with. Okay, because you're talking about the event, and there's always two sides to the story, whatever the case is. And I mean, hell, I think we've all done that before. Like, yo, man, I sparred that dude before, right? But to break the code of leaking actual footage and trying to make it look like, yeah, here you go, I'll whoop that ass. Man, listen, we all know sparring is number one, sparring is not 100%, but number two, most of the time when you're sparring, you're normally sparring with somebody that's not as good as you or smaller than you because you're trying to work on something.
Yeah.
So you're gonna look bad in sparring because you're gonna try to work on shit.
Absolutely.
You know? So
absolutely.
That's.
And you know, my man Chris Tom made a good point. He said Paul Spatafora's manager leaked the sparring session with Floyd Mayweather, and that was a bullshit ass leak because Paul Spatafora was at the end of training camp for a fight he was getting ready to have, and Floyd Mayweather was starting his training camp.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So for these dumb motherfuckers out there, oh, nigga, Floyd Mayweather got fucked up. First of all, it was actually a very competitive sparring session with a very in shape Paul Spatafora versus an out of shape Floyd Mayweather. Exactly. So let's say if both of them were in shape, I think Floyd Mayweather would have dominated the fucking sparring session. But that's neither here nor there. These dumbass people out there don't really look at it. They don't understand the concept. They don't understand the background information that comes with it. And Paul Spatafora's manager knew this.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why he leaked it. But yeah, my man said Mayweather fresh off the street. Yeah. Mayweather just left one of the whorehouses, bro. Motherfucker he just released a whole bunch of testosterone and got in the ring with Paul Spatafora. That's what happened. The fuck out of here, man. Let's move on to the next one, man. Listen,
what you got for me, Prodigy?
Bruh, let's go back to Brian Castano real quick. And let's talk about Erickson Lubin out here eyeing a possible Brian Castano fight.
Good fight. I
want to know what the chat thinks about this shit, man.
I want to see that fight.
Erickson Lubin, Brian Castano. I like that fight, dog.
I do too.
I like that fight. I also like the idea of Erickson Lubin calling him out.
Mm-hmm.
Because it shows me that Lubin is not 100% mentally mentally scrambled or mentally affected by his first round knockout to Jermell Charlo.
Yeah.
Tells me that he learned from that knockout. Now, he said he made a very good prediction. He said before the fight that Lara Castano would be a draw. He said that, which is hilarious. And he was right. But it tells me why he was, on the panel. He wasn't lying about when he said, hey, I'm not affected at all by this shit. You know what I'm saying? I learned something from it. I learned from my mistakes. I know what I want to be now. I know what I want to do. I know what I got to do. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And with him looking at that fight and saying, I want that guy right there, that fucking tells me he's ready. Is he ready, bro?
I think he is ready. Here's the thing when it comes to Erickson Lubin, right? He was a prospect, a hot prospect that became a contender, worked his way up, and he got in a fight and got caught. He got caught so early, and it was. I say this to people all the time. It was a matter of inexperience. Why? Because when he gets knocked down, right, he's trying to get back up, and his body is jerking. It was a lack. His experience factor didn't tell him. Relax your body, take the knockdown, relax your body, and ease and work your way back up. He was so busy trying to get back to his feet that his body was jerking, which caused the ref to stop the fight. So him being knocked out is a matter of, in my honest opinion, is a matter of inexperience of that moment, because it was early in the fight. Okay. He also came out cold. If you watch how he came to that ring, he wasn't as warmed up. He wasn't as sweaty looking as Jermell Charlo. Now, no homo. Don't think I'm looking at niggas sweat. What I'm saying was he didn't look warm up enough.
Yeah, dog. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That, man.
Right. He didn't look warmed up enough. So you come out, you don't look like, you warmed up enough, right? Then you get the inexperience factor of when you got knocked down, you know you knocked down, but you're trying to get back up. Your body's trying to relax to take the knockdown. Your mind is trying to get back up. Okay. So that was just a matter of inexperience on his part. So you go back to the gym, and I always say this: once you accept what the faults of what you've done are, the better it is for you to go on and move on as a fighter.
Yeah.
So immediately he accepts what happened. He accepts what he did wrong. He makes no excuses for that. So now, if you look at his next couple of fights, okay, this is the now we're seeing the Erickson Lubin that we saw and we like. So I actually like this fight because I actually think that him versus Castano is a very good fight because Lubin has the athleticism along with the boxing skills, and then it provides a cat like Castano to be hit by. Lubin can hit. So now it's an aspect of, okay, how does Castano take it from somebody that can really hit? Lara's not known for having that pop in him like that. Okay, don't get twisted by that knockout he did against whoever that D-level motherfucker he knocked out. Who was that cat he knocked out? He hit it with a stomach punch and knocked him out. George, whatever his name was, right?
Yeah,
right. So Castellanos' approach to Lubin will have to be differently because applying pressure to Lubin can get you knocked out because the cat can hit. Right. So I definitely like this fight, and I think he's ready for somebody like Castellano. I don't know if we can say he's ready for a Jared Hurd. You know, I would like to see him with Castellano, and hell, even a Jaime Munguia, because I think his skill set can expose some of the flaws of Jaime Munguia. So yeah, I think he's ready for something like that. Oh yeah, most definitely.
Well, as Bo already touched, you got to understand. He touched on this already. You got to understand that getting caught and being dominated in a fight are two different things. You know what I'm saying? He made a mistake. He dipped his head too low. He actually did it multiple times before Jermell Charlo timed it and hit him with that shot. Now, Jermell Charlo, dumbass, went back and didn't take the opportunity to show people he's a high-level IQ fighter because the motherfucker said, no, I didn't time nothing. I mean, I just threw the shot. Dog, we saw – okay. So I'm going to go ahead –
Did you just say okay?
Yeah, and listen, man, I'm gonna go ahead and not give him credit for it and having a high level IQ and just say he landed a lucky punch. That's basically what he said. You know what I'm saying? But it looked to me that he saw that Erickson Lubin, whenever he would throw his jab, he would dip to his left.
Yeah.
And finally, after doing it like 4 fucking times, yeah, he said that, Julio, after dipping 4 fucking times, that's when he came over the top with his hook and knocked him out, hit him right on the temple. Now, getting caught like that while looking good in a fight, because he looked decent that for as long as the fight lasted, he didn't look bad. He was actually beating Jermell Charlo to the punch. But he just got caught. That right there doesn't necessarily mentally destroy you because you knew that, damn, I just got caught. This is something that you're taught when you first walk into a gym, right? When you aspire as a child that you want to become a boxer and you walk into the gym, you know what I'm saying? They tell you, hey, first thing they tell you is never quit, a la Rigo. Second thing they tell you is,
Pause.
No, I'm serious.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Am I lying?
Aspetta. Un momento. Okay.
Am I lying? No.
No. No voy a sentir aquí para tú hablando mal con otros cubanos. Cállate, bruto. No, hablando mal de mi cubanos porque es mi país, ¿tú sabes?
I don't know Spanish, but he told me to shut up somewhere in there. I heard that shit. He told me to shut up somewhere in that motherfucker, man. Cállate. I know what that shit means. Hey, by the way, that was a little promotional segment right there. If you want to hear more of that, please check out Bo's first all Spanish interview.
You go again. The one when I was nervous as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
I was like a duck in water. Like 2K showed me from up top, but if you could have seen me, my leg was 2K, my leg was shaking.
He was scared than a bitch, man, but he did an excellent job. But anyway, like I was saying though, it's a situation where you didn't get dominated. Like for example, what's his name? J-Rock. I expected J-Rock to have trouble coming back from losing to Jermall Charlo. You see what I'm saying? I expected him to have a lot of problems with that. And, they brought him along pretty slowly up to him, possibly fighting Jared Hurd, right? So it's a different scenario there. So I think Erickson Lubin has a better chance of getting himself back into the fray, just because it was a quick knockout. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, the fact that he understands what he did wrong, and we'll find out as he ups his competition. Because I don't think he gets the Brian Castano fight next. It'll probably be somebody like my man said, Wilkie Camford. You know, it'll be somebody that gives him another tune-up. I think he has maybe one or two more of those type of fights. Then he gets himself back into title contention. So we'll see in those one or two tune-ups that he has next, whether or not, you know what I'm saying, he's actually learned from his mistake. We'll see. All right. Bo, what you got for me next, dog?
Man, look here. Before I say this, Julio, I speak good goddamn English. I just fuck up names, dog.
Yeah.
I feel it. Shout out
fucks up names in English.
I feel it, man. Good shit over there in the room. So, man, we got Luis Ortiz. He said he wants Wilder, Joshua, or Fury. Now, let me make this clear. He fought Christian Hammer. Christian Hammer you're not gonna look good against a cat like Christian Hammer. And let me explain this, right? Because I told somebody, I said, dude, Christian Hammer's only been knocked out one time. You know, he's been knocked out 3 times. This is why it's bad for motherfuckers to just look at BoxRec. RTD is not a knockout. What that means is somebody was injured or something happened during the fight where the fight got stopped and he went to the scorecards.
It means retired.
Right. That's what RTD means.
Yeah.
Right. So RTD means, hey, either there was an injury in the fight, right? Or there was injury in the fight where he couldn't continue early in the fight, or there was an injury and he went past 4 rounds, so they went to the scorecard.
Right.
So stop looking at BoxRec and shit and looking at niggas' records and basing your opinion off that. All right. But the last time Christian Hammer was knocked out, he was officially knocked out. I forget the cat. It was he got knocked out in the 6th round of, I think it was an 8-round fight or a 10-round fight, but he got knocked out. But that was a long time ago. Ever since then, Christian Hammer is not a dude that's right, Povetkin. No, Povetkin couldn't even knock him out. But Christian Hammer is a guy that decent skills. You know, he has an amateur background. He got decent skills. He has, in my honest opinion, suffered from just bad matchups, and that's something we're gonna talk about later on. But he's extremely durable. With them body shots Luis Ortiz was landing, that alone should have put him down.
Yeah.
You know,
he got knocked out by Marius Watt.
There it is, Myers Watt, right? He got knocked out by Myers Watt, right? So I didn't expect him to look too good against a cat like Christian Hammer, but at the same time, I actually didn't expect Hammer to have some of the success he was having with landing that straight right hand either.
Right.
He was able to land that straight right hand a couple times on Luis Ortiz. So, has Father Time caught up to Luis Ortiz? I want some of y'all opinion in chat. But I still think what I saw from that Luis Ortiz, because styles make fights, he still is competitive enough to compete with the Wilder, Joshua, and Fury. Now, does he beat him? The only reason, here's the thing, does he beat him? That's the question, because we already saw him fight Wilder, and Wilder power honestly what saved him. I think Joshua is starting to hit another level in his gear, and Tyson Fury with that athleticism will cause a problem for Luis Ortiz, who himself is athletic. But I do like the fact that I did see Luis Ortiz using his legs more, but you're able to do that against the Christian Hammer. I don't know if you can do that against these other guys I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let me say this, man. I like Luis Ortiz. I really do. I really do. I just don't think he can beat. I think he gives Anthony Joshua trouble because Joshua doesn't move very well. Also, like I said, I've seen guys get inside of Anthony Joshua's jab and hurt him. Okay. I've seen 3 guys do it: Dillian Whyte, Joseph Parker, and Alexander Povetkin. They got inside his jab and hurt him. Also, Carlos Takam did too, but he didn't hurt him, but he got inside his jab. So I think Luis Ortiz can get inside of Joshua's jab, but the Luis Ortiz that I've seen recently, he doesn't move like he used to, Bo. And I think that's a problem because at one point he had one of the best footwork. I mean, this is when David Haye was still fighting, so David Haye had better footwork than him. But he was one of the top fighters in the heavyweight division with the best footwork. Now he's kind of plodding and shit, man. You know, he's not really turning. He's not really pivoting as much as he used to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know, bro. Like, I know Tyson Fury beats him. That's a definite.
Yeah.
I think Tyson Fury is going to be moving all around the ring. He's not going to let Luis Ortiz get close to him, right? I know Deontay Wilder beats him because he already has. I think a rematch will be a better fight than the first fight, but I still think Deontay Wilder comes up on top. So the only one that I'm looking at is AJ, dog. You know what I'm saying? I want to say Luis Ortiz can beat AJ, but I just don't think he's going to move well enough.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Look how Joseph Parker looked, by the way. This is a good comparison. I think Luis Ortiz is going to look like Joseph Parker against Anthony Joshua. Joseph Parker was actually a good mover as well. Look at his fights in the past, right? He was another guy that can move very well. That was actually why that fight was being marketed the way it was. You know, Joseph Parker versus Anthony Joshua, you know, big guy with a lot of power versus a smaller guy that doesn't have the same kind of power, but he has the hand speed and he has the footwork. That's why they were marketing it the way that they were. You see what I'm saying? But the way he fought Joshua, he didn't move like that. Hell, the way he fought Dillian Whyte, he really didn't move like that.
Yeah.
I see Luis Ortiz doing the same thing, man. I don't want to think that, but that's all I can think, fam. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, what about him beating Dillian Whyte?
Yeah, he beats Dillian Whyte.
Yeah, I think he beats Dillian Whyte, but again, that's a good fight, though.
Yeah, it is. It's a very good fight. I think only reason why I think he beats Dillian Whyte, I think he's just from a skill set standpoint. He has a higher skill set, but he would have to be cautious of Dillian Whyte's right hand. Very cautious of Dillian Whyte's right hand because I like Dillian Whyte, not the boy can pop. Yeah, he definitely can pop. I just think from a skill set standpoint, Luis Ortiz's footwork, even at 40, is better than Flintstone Dillian Whyte's footwork right now. Hey man, this cat Neutral Natural is killing the chat, man. He's everything this motherfucker say, bro. I agree with. I'm tired of agreeing with him. He just made a good point again. He said Ortiz is an easy fighter to rob. That's exactly what they were getting ready to do to him against Deontay Wilder. Yes, he is. He's an easy fighter to rob because he is the upset to the apple cart. Like, for example, right? If Luis Ortiz people would be okay if a Tyson Fury upsets the apple cart because you can still make good fights with him. If Luis Ortiz upsets the apple cart, you can't make a good fight with him because he's not part of that mix. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like what fan base could you appeal to from, like, say what you want to say about Deontay Wilder, right? Whether you like him or you hate him, he still has a base that don't like him so much, so they tune in to see him get his ass whooped. Okay. Yep. They'll tune in to see him get his ass whooped. They'll talk about his fights, you know what I'm saying, about how he can't do this, he's fighting this guy and blah. So there's talks about him. If Luis Ortiz wins, there's no talks about Luis Ortiz. I agree. And C-Bone made an excellent point. He said Ortiz has great feet, but it is completely different fighting off the back foot by choice than being forced to fight off the back foot. And I'll give a good example. Amir Khan. Amir Khan was forced to fight off his back foot against Lamont Peterson. And what happened? He started pushing him. He started pushing off. Yeah, and they took a point from his dumb ass because he has no ability to fight off the back foot. He was forced in that fight, or at least the second half of that fight. So that's an excellent point. And that's exactly what I think would happen in that fight against AJ. I know it definitely happened against Deontay Wilder in the rematch. Yeah, it did. Man, dog, like I really, like I said, I really like Luis Ortiz, man, but I just don't know because the Ortiz that I'm seeing now, and again, some of these fighters, they will do things in the ring against tune-ups because they know they could just walk right through the motherfucker and knock them out, right? Exactly. I feel like he definitely did it against his tune-ups before Deontay Wilder. Yeah. He just did it against Travis Kaufman. Yes, right? He did. And I feel like he did it against Christian Hammer. He was really, man, dog. He was beating the fucking pork belly off this nigga. Damn, bro. Dog, you know, listen, man. If y'all some chefs, y'all know what I'm talking about. That's a good fight, Eric. That's a good fight. And you know what? That is a good fight. That's a good fight. And I actually would pick Usyk to win. The only reason that I would give Ortiz some a chance is that I don't know how Usyk would be able to handle the weight of Luis Ortiz.
Well, I'm gonna come back to that, but man, listen, cookers out there, chefs, how do you tenderize your meat? What's the best way without using any seasoning to tenderize your meat? What's the best way?
You beat it.
You beat the fuck out of it.
Beat the shit out of it.
That's exactly
what
Luis
Ortiz. Motherfuckers out there, you perverted motherfuckers out there listening.
Hey man, listen. If there was any cannibals in the audience at that fight, they was licking their lips, bro, because Luis Ortiz was tenderizing the fuck out of Christian Hammer, dog. He was tenderizing the fuck out that meat. They was like, God damn, just put it on the skillet already. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, them body shots were vicious, but he was taking shots to get those shots off, and that's what I didn't like. You know what I'm saying? Let me go to this, which I talked about, Usyk Ortiz, because I want some of that shit. I think Usyk wins that fight, but Bo made a very good point. The body of Ortiz, how big he is, that might be a fucking problem. Understand, we still don't know how Usyk is going to fare at heavyweight, but I will say this: the transition from cruiserweight to heavyweight ain't really shit to a lot of cats. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to go backwards when you've weighed a lot. A la what's the Eddie Chambers? I was gonna say, what's the guy's name that Anthony Joshua called a coon? Eddie Chambers. You know what I'm saying? Eddie Chambers' fat ass tried to go from heavyweight to cruiserweight. Well, he didn't look that well. You see what I'm saying? It's harder to go backwards, but it's easier to go forward. Plus, Alexander Usyk, when he rehydrates, he's over 200 pounds anyway, which is within the heavyweight limit.
Yeah, Mike Perez actually did a good job of going from heavyweight to cruiserweight.
Very good point, and I'm glad you made that. I'm glad you said that, because that counters my point. Mike Perez is actually a better cruiserweight. Look at him. You know what? Hey, Bo, you ain't gonna like this comment. You ain't gonna like this comment, dog. They need to test Mike Perez. They need to test that nigga. They need to put the needle in that nigga arm, bro.
I think, yeah.
Mike Perez was.
I could actually see that. I could actually see that.
Now he go to cruiserweight, nigga looking like me.
I could actually see that. I can see that. I can see that.
You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker go to cruiserweight, he looking like me, bro. Yeah, they need to put the needle in that nigga's arm, bro. I want to know. Let me know, for real. But that was a good point, though. You're right. So I really think Usyk is going to be able to transition to heavyweight very well. He's going to bring his footwork up there. IQ never leaves the brain, no matter what division you move into. And I believe Alexander Usyk is one of the smartest fighters in boxing. Only thing he needs to do is make sure that he can take a shot, because he will get hit at heavyweight. But also he needs to make sure that he's able to keep the same kind of conditioning, right? It's going to be more weight that he puts on. I think Usyk should not come into heavyweight no higher than 225. He should be a small heavyweight like Deontay Wilder, so he can take advantage of his superior footwork in that division. That's why I think an Alexander Povetkin fight, which is damn near close to done for May 18th right now, is an excellent opponent, because he will be able to show, or at least be able to test himself against a guy that can actually hit. Alexander Povetkin got that mean-ass right hook, right? And he's got power in general. So he's going to be able to test whether or not he could take a shot. And he's also going to be able to test whether or not another good mover in the division can match his footwork. If a good mover like Alexander Povetkin, who's one of the top 3 movers at heavyweight, can't match Alexander's footwork fucking in this century, in this lifetime, then we know Alexander Usyk is going to have a good chance to utilize that superior footwork against the guys that can't move as good as Povetkin, like Wilder, Joshua. You know, Tyson Fury moves better, but so we won't use him.
No, Tyson Fury is probably one of the best movers in boxing right now.
Not probably, he is.
Okay.
Not probably. He is. He is the best mover at heavyweight, without a doubt. All right, let's move on to the next one. I'm gonna go back up a little bit, man. Talk a little bit about Dillian Whyte again.
Go ahead.
Of course, Dillian Whyte, man. You know, I feel bad for the cat, man. You know, I'm not a big fan of his style. You know, y'all know I call him the rollerblader. in the ring and shit. Y'all know I call him that. He got probably the worst. We said Tyson Fury got the best footwork. This motherfucker might have the worst footwork. It's terrible. You know what I'm saying? But I feel bad for him, man, because he's been holding that silver title for like 27 fights, man.
Yeah.
For however many fights. He beat Robert Hell Anus. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I'm saying his name right. Robert Hell Anus. You know what I'm saying? He beat that motherfucker. He beat that motherfucker for the silver title.
Robert Hell Anus.
and when we, when you get a title like that, and the WBC says, all right, bro, you're the mandatory now. Well, that fighters are all up in arms. Yes, I get a chance at a title. But that's not the case here. WBC said, yeah, you're the mandatory, but, we're not really going to force nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get this Wilder Joshua fight, my nigga. So you're going to have to wait in the back of the line. You know what I mean? and it's a fucked up situation because Dillian Whyte is probably, you know how they got the award in the NBA, most improved player.
Yep.
That's Dillian Whyte in boxing right now. He is the most improved boxer. Got knocked out by Anthony Joshua, then rises from that and wins 9 or 10 straight fights. And these are against serviceable opponents. They're not whack opponents. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is my man, like my man C-Bone just said, he's been fucking #1 ranked in the WBC since Moby Dick was a minnow. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Old man reference, but yeah.
Yeah, right.
No. That's an old man analogy, but yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a fucked up situation for Dillian Whyte, man. I feel for the guy. He thought he was going to get a fucking rematch with Anthony Joshua. They hold him. You know what I'm saying? They said, hey, man, we'll pay you $20. You know what I'm saying? He said, bro, that's not going to be enough. They said, $20, take it or leave it. So motherfucker had to pass. He's like, damn, nigga, I can't get $20 and some food stamps with that? Nah, nigga, just $20. He had to pass, right? So now he's like teetering in between, damn, staying with Eddie Hearn or going to PBC because PBC got, they got the better matchups that would help him in his career to be able to get the title shot he wants, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he's like, fuck, should I go to PBC and fight Dominic Brazil? And he goes over there and discusses, talks with Al Heyman and shit. You know what I'm saying? Evidently, those talks didn't go the way that he wanted because he's still fucking with Eddie Hearn to this day. Then it was a situation where the WBC was like, all right, if you fight Dominic Brazil, then the winner will be the true mandatory because the dumb fucks told Dominic Brazil that he's a mandatory too.
Yes,
I got 2 fucking mandatories. I think who'd he beat? Ugino. I can't remember his first name. African Zambulu motherfucker, all muscles everywhere. That's who he beat. He beat him and he beat Carlos Negron. You know what I'm saying? He beat them 2 cats. So the WBC was like, yeah, you're the mandatory. But they forgot that they gave the mandatory status already to fucking Dillian Whyte. So how do you do that? So they said, okay, we fucked up, my bad. You 2 motherfuckers fight, the winner's the true mandatory. But then Tyson Fury did what he did and said, nah, fuck Deontay Wilder. I'm going to go with what ESPN wants me to do and be featured on their network before I actually fight Deontay Wilder. So now the fucking negotiations with Dominic Brazil that was happening last April that I was telling you guys on this particular channel, right, is back up. And it's back at the forefront. And now Deontay Wilder is probably most likely going to be fighting Dominic Brazil. He's already talking about how he wants to beat the shit out of him and wipe him off the face of the planet. He's already talking about that right now. He's in the media talking about that right now.
Yeah.
That's a hint. They get ready to fight. So it leaves Dillian Whyte out in the cold again.
Yep. Yeah.
Now he done moved his date to July 13th. He was like, yeah, I'm coming back April 20 in Wembley. No, motherfucker, you not now. You coming back in London, July 13th. In hopes of getting the winner of Deontay Wilder, Dominic Brazil, and that's not even a guarantee, man. Bo, talk on this, man. I'm done, man. I feel bad for him, dog.
Here's the problem that Dillian Whyte has, right? Okay. Now, the WBC is fucking with him. I'm gonna put that out there. They're fucking with him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't fought at I don't know how many mandatory positions, but this is why I said one of the mistakes that he made was he was offered. He had 2 mandatories. He had the title eliminated with Ortiz. Then he also had that title eliminated with the IBF with Kubrat Pulev.
Yeah.
Instead of fighting either one of them motherfuckers, he fought Joseph Parker. And I said back then, Parker don't get you a path to the championship. It just didn't.
Yeah.
And I was right, because guess what? He's yet to have it. And the reason why I felt that he should have took either one of them. A, number one, you fight Kubrat Pulev, that's IBF. IBF makes sure they enforce the fucking mandatory. Right. They don't play that game. Okay? The WBC, that was the title eliminator. Deontay Wilder had said, man, you beat Ortiz, I got you next. Right? But on top of that, right, he had already said some stuff about being able to knock Ortiz. He was old. You didn't take that fight. Now, the number one prize in prize fighting is the title. You got to take fights to where they have no choice but to put you in right there in front of that goddamn championship.
Yep.
Put you right there in front of that motherfucking champion. And when it came to that title eliminator with Ortiz, and it came to that title eliminator with Kubrat Pulev, and you didn't take it, and you fought Joseph Parker, even though Joseph Parker was just coming off that loss to Wilder, Ortiz was just coming off that loss. I mean, Joseph Parker was coming off the loss to Joshua. Ortiz was coming off that loss to Deontay Wilder.
Right.
Okay. So that performance that he gave was more memorable in Cat's mind. So right. Although the WBC's fucking with him, but Dillian Whyte got to take fights where after this fight, you got no choice but to put me in front of this motherfucker, which is even why when Dominique Breazeale had said a while back, like, you know what, man, fuck it, Dillian, I'll put up my mandatory status against you. Let's fight. Dillian should have jumped on that.
Yep.
He should have jumped on that, because if you like I said, you beat Kubrat Pulev, IBF, bam, that's it. You know what I'm saying? IBF, that's it. They enforce the mandatory. But if you beat Ortiz, you beat Dillian Whyte, WBC can't, they gotta now put you in front of, okay, man, we got to put him in front of Joshua, right?
Yep.
The WBC was like, well, we know you there. This how cold the WBC is. They said, well, Dillian, we know you there, and Dominique Breazeale, we know you there, but guess what? We want to, run back this big money fight because we like that, that 10% sanctioning fee that we got from that fight. See, we like that. So we're gonna mandate that they run that rematch back, and then you two motherfuckers fight each other. See what I'm saying? Right. That's how cold the WBC is. Right. So definitely Dillian Whyte has been, he's been getting screwed over. But at the end of the day, man, you can't position yourself for a title fight. And cats get mad at me fighting Derek Chisoras in rematches, fighting Lucas Brownies. I'm sorry, man.
Call that nigga Lucas Brownie.
Man, Lucas Brownie. Dude, the way he crumbled from that right hand, that's what he looked like.
That's right. He sure did.
So you can't put yourself in title positions fighting them dudes. He's like, that's why I was happy he was going to fight Dominique Breazeale, and then Deontay Wilder was like, nah, skip that. Right? So I feel bad for him, man, because they have been fucking with him, and they really have. But at the same time, you got to take fights where they got no choice but to put you in front of these motherfucking champions. And Derek Chisoras, Lucas Brownie, Robert Helene ass, that just don't cut it, dog.
I think you should fight Adam Kalnaki. I think
that, so. Yeah, that would
July
be
July 13th in London. Bring over Adam Kalnaki.
Yeah, I actually like that fight.
If the PBC allows it, which they have before with that.
They have before, yeah. Because Kalnaki is number 5. So I actually like that fight. I like that fight.
And understand, Dillian Whyte is not, he's not a DAZN fighter. He's with Eddie Hearn, but he's not tied down to DAZN. Remember, those are 2 separate contracts. So they could easily have that fight on ITV, which already has a partnership with PBC.
That's true. He can even fight on IFL TV.
Yep. So IFL TV, excuse me. Yeah, I said ITV.
But you got to feel bad for the guy. You just got to feel bad because they've been having him in that position for what, almost 2 years now, man?
Whenever he beat Hell Anus, that's when he's been in that position. So, I mean, you beat the anus out of motherfucking and win a belt. You figured you get a title shot.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out for him, But I think you should fight Adam Kalnaki. That's no bullshit.
I think
Kalnaki is like ranked number 5.
That's a fight. Now, that's a fight that's one of those fights that I was talking about. That's a fight that you beat a cat like that, because Adam Kalnaki is ranked number 5. Now you fight another guy within the top 5. You have to give that puts you in front of the champion, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know, man. We'll see, bro. But I like my man Julio just said he believes that Dillian Whyte probably believes he has a better chance of beating Deontay Wilder. I believe he has a better chance of beating him too. You know what I'm saying? Just stylistically, I think he has a better chance of beating Wilder. But and he's already number one. He's number one in the WBO and the WBC. Well, you already tried to get the damn. You tried to uphold your number one status in the WBO with fucking Anthony Joshua, and they jerked you. They only gave you 15 cents. So that's not gonna work. So attack the WBC. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think he should fight Adam Kalnaki, man. But what you got next for me, dog?
All right, man. Go to 3kingsboxing.com or 3kingsboxing on Facebook and check out the return of the man, the return of the 147-pound champion, the return of the AB brush my hair killer, the return of the hardest hitting 147-pounder in all of boxing. Check him out as he is preparing to make his comeback, and he is looking a slim 230 pounds. Marcos Maidana, dude. Marcos Maidana, dog. Nah, stop. There's no way you're going to tell me this dude's going to get that weight down in time for a fight. Stop.
Hey,
not
man.
Stop.
Hey, look, man.
This nigga rolls. This nigga got done. He got semi-Dunlop disease. It means his stomach then lopped over his belt.
Damn. That nigga got, my man was hitting the pads with a full muffin top, nigga. I thought only women that just had kids had muffin tops, but not when I saw Maidana, bro. You know what I'm saying? Listen, let me tell you something, bro. Al Heyman should set Marcos Maidana up to get that coveted WBF heavyweight title, dog. That's what I think. Ain't no way in hell this motherfucker getting a 147 by the summer. Not looking like that. And then when you look at the damn video on 3 Kings Boxing on the Facebook page, the fucking mitt work was slow as hell. How this nigga gonna burn fat? That slow ass mitt work. Look like they got a nigga out of retirement home, put some pads on him. You know what I'm saying? And you gonna hold the mitts. You gonna hold the pads for former WBA champion Marcos Maidana, former 2-time champion Marcos Maidana. Yeah. 80-year-old man holding the fucking mitts. Come on, man. This man need to be working, dog. It's March.
I know, right?
Bo, it's March, dog. It's March.
Well, I hate to tell Marcos Maidana this. Our fault, you fault. I think some of us on this panel have either been to a gym, maybe even fought. I've never known a motherfucker lose weight doing pads. Like, pads is not one of the ways you lose weight. I hate to tell her. I'm just being real. Like, I've never said, man, I need to drop 10 pounds. Let me hit some pads.
Bro. Yo, my man, listen, man. Oh, man, he might need to get liposuction. He's trying to make welterweight by the summer.
That motherfucker need gastric bypass surgery.
Yeah, that motherfucker need they need to shrink his stomach. Gastric bypass surgery. Straight up, fam. Like listen, man. Hey, he comes back. I had no problem with it. I had no qualms with it. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? If he wants to come back and fight, he can come back and fight, no problem. But don't insult my intelligence, man. You know what I'm saying? This dude, it's already March. He has to work. First of all, they have a date, but they don't even have a fight set. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they know who he's fighting. They're just holding on to the information. But there's no set fight. There's just a date and a weight that they want him to fight at. Okay? I'm not saying he can't do it, right? But the information that they're putting out there right now, it doesn't look good for him. You want to put out videos of Marcos Maidana working hard like Gabe Rosado works in training, or Chris Eubank Jr.
Yeah.
Those are the videos you want to put out there if you want people to be serious about Marcos Maidana.
I agree.
Right? Hell, if you can't get him to look like that, then at least speed up the video. Make it look like that. You know what I'm saying?
And 2K, they was speeding up the video. That's why them punches looked good.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, that's fucked up, fam. Because that motherfucker was slower than molasses, even when he was sped up.
That shit was on 3X.
Yeah, that's fucked up, man. But at least do something, man. Like, damn, dog, we got Photoshop, we got Windows Movie Maker, you got iMovie, you got all this shit where you can speed up a video, man. Make it look like he working hard at least, because you're trying to market the guy. Right now, everybody's laughing at him. It's not a good look, man. So I don't know, man. I don't see him. Like I said, if he comes back at welterweight, not saying that he can't, but if he comes back at welterweight, like I said on the other podcast we had, the motherfucker gonna have to fight a nigga that's like 6 and 127, like how they be fighting niggas in the UK. You know what I'm saying? When cats start their career in the UK, they fight a bunch of dudes. Yeah, they fight a bunch of dudes with those type of records. You know what I'm saying? So that's actually just fuck it. You got the partnership with IFL. Just move the motherfucker over there to the UK and let him fight over there a couple times, and then bring him back.
Well, my thing, you know what? I'll be honest with you, man. See, for a cat like Marcos Maidana, for what he was when he was fighting, I'm talking about his ferociousness, his mindset of just that he can destroy and get his hands on you. When you get to the size that he got, that means you are a tamed motherfucker. You've been tamed.
Yeah.
Okay. So even if the skill set is there, the mindset is not there. So my biggest thing is, as big as he got, that means he's tamed. He's not, he's lost that killer instinct or that switch. So even if he gets down to 147, how effective would he be? Because that mindset is not there no more. That's why you get that big. Trust me, motherfuckers, I know.
Right. This shit sneak up on you.
Yeah, it do.
My man Mike said, is Maidana trolling? Maybe. I don't know, man. I don't want to ever say a guy can't do something.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I've been told I couldn't do shit all throughout my life, and I proved motherfuckers wrong left and right. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say a guy can't do something.
Ooh, that's a very good point, Mike. Yeah. If he wanted to be more convincing, he'd have had on one of them heavy-duty sweatsuits. You're right. That's a very good point.
Good point. Absolutely.
Very good point, Mike. You're right.
Good point. Julio said, do we think he blew the Mayweather money already?
Of course. Why else would you be coming back?
I don't know, man, because it's hard to blow $2 million over in Argentina when our money is that strong on Argentine peso?
That's true. That's true. I mean, it was 10. I think he, but between the two fights, he grossed almost what, 10 million?
Something like that.
So I mean, I don't, you know, I think I'm not gonna say he blew all of it, but maybe he blew enough to where he think he needs to come back for one more quick payday. Or it could just be he was sitting at home.
That's what I think.
Yeah, he was just sitting at home, and that competitive nature just sometimes just takes over you as a fighter. Like, think about it, man. Like, I'm not gonna even lie to y'all, right? So earlier today, I'm at the gym. 2K can attest to this, right? I'm at the gym, hitting the bag, hitting the pads. I'm thinking to myself, shit, I still got it. So, motherfucker, I put a hurting on him. So 2K bust my bubble. God, motherfucker, I barely hear the bag moving. Fuck me up.
Yeah, man, I heard like little clicks and shit of the chain. It's just like click, click. I was like, nigga, what you doing, bro? You playing with some paper clips or something, nigga? What the fuck you doing?
Yeah. So I mean, that could be because a lot of times, like a lot of athletes go through that, man. A lot of athletes watch the new generation crop of fighters and be like, "Oh man, I could come back and do something." And you know, they get in that gym and like, "Oh no."
That's honestly what I think it is. I 100% believe he looked at the welterweight division and was like, "Man, I will blow through these cats," you know. And you gotta understand, he chose welterweight.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cats will come back and fight, you know, a weight class or two higher. He said, "No, I'm going right back to where I finished off at." So I think I really believe it's the second one of what you mentioned, the latter. He just sat back and said, "Man, I could beat these dudes, man." You know. So and Marcos Maidana has always been that kind of guy. Like, I'll fight anybody. Well, he didn't fight Keith Thurman when he was supposed to, but my point is, you know what I'm saying? He's typically that type of dude. Like, I'll fight anybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So It is what it is, man. Let's go to the next one. Tony Bellew seems to believe that Deontay Wilder is the worst heavyweight champion ever. So I guess he's not considering names like Charles Martin. You know what I'm saying? Bermane Stiverne, Ingemar Johansson. Yeah, he's not considering names like
Rodman.
Hasim Rahman, who was, by the way, a 2-time champion. I don't know how the fuck that happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Oleg Moskayev, Sergey Likovich. You know, he's not considering Corey Saunders, Layman Brewster. A bunch of motherfuckers he could say that have an argument for that title. In my opinion, the worst heavyweight champion ever, Bermane Stiverne and Charles Martin are tied for that shit, bro. Hasim Rahman, I used to say it was Hasim Rahman until I seen Bermane Stiverne, man, and Charles Martin. You know what I'm saying? Hasim Rahman is also a 2-time champion, so I got to give him a little bit of credit, I guess, for that. But yeah, Charles Martin and Bermane Stiverne might be the 2 worst heavyweight champions ever. You know, Cinderella Man might be the worst. You know, Braddock. James he might Braddock. Be the worst. James Braddock. He might be down there too.
I'll even go back first. Remember that cat? It's that big, tall Italian cat they had. He was just 7 foot.
Oh yeah, I can never remember his fucking name. Yeah.
I can't remember his name. There's a picture of him standing next to Sugar Ray Robinson, and I can't remember his name. He's a big, tall Italian cat.
I can't remember his name, but yeah, yeah, he's pretty bad too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Primo.
Yeah, there you go. See,
Primo, that's him.
Good shit, Mike.
Good shit, Mike.
And then here comes Chris. Yeah, Primo Carnera. Yeah. Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible, bro. We can never remember that dude's name. It's like the 3rd time we try to get that dude's name, man. See, that's what I'm saying. We got a well-educated people in the chat, man. Well-educated. That's what's up.
Oh shit, that's what's up.
Yeah, them dudes is bad. And I think Tony Bellew he's just trolling, obviously, man. He understands that Deontay Wilder is not the worst heavyweight champion ever. And you know, it's a situation where he's backing his countryman Anthony Joshua.
Right, he's stirring the pot. But remember, this the same Tony Bellew that once upon a time. See, this is why it's hard for me to take this serious, because this is the same Tony Bellew that was out there that Eddie Hearns had him gassed up. Like, man, you just beat David Haye. You just beat David Haye, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You was just in Creed and shit. Come on, man. You could beat Wilder. He said he was all in Tony Bellew's face. Like, listen, Tony. Let me tell you something here, boy, mate. Okay, you just was in Creed. Okay, you was in Creed. You just beat David Haye. You knocked him out. You can take Wilder's a bum. Nobody knows him. He's a bum. You can watch out for the right hand. You can fight him. He's a bum. And then what Tony Bellew say? Shit, I shook Deontay Wilder's hand. I didn't know how big he was. Fuck that.
Well, he said that about Anthony Joshua. He said he would fight Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, but he also said that about Wilder. He said after meeting him and shaking his hand, he was like, man, fuck that. Okay. Right? So I can't take it seriously when you say it, but the thing is, Deontay is an easy target to say he's the worst because he's a one-dimensional fighter.
Yeah, right.
So that makes, when you're a one-dimensional fighter, that makes it very easy to target you and say something like that.
Right.
And when the fighter even says stuff like, who needs skill when you get power?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
You see what I'm saying?
I agree.
So he's an easy target to say that because cats will say, yeah, he is. But at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, a lot of times, man, you have fighters, right? And they have something that works for them. It only works for them. It will never work for you. It will only work for that fighter. And that's what Deontay Wilder, outside of his awkwardness and all of that, his wild style, that works for him.
Right.
So you can't say he's the worst. You can say that he does shit that you've never seen, or some of the shit he does is the worst shit. Like my man 2K back in the day said how Deontay Wilder would be looking like he doing the motherfucking oh man, I can't hold on, man. That shit when you put your hands up like the Frankenstein or some shit. When he be trying to block punches, he put both his hands up.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can make that case and make that argument. But at the end of the day, like when he fought Luis Ortiz, like once he puts it together, we see what we see. Okay, it's there. Like when he fought Bermane Stiverne, and I don't know what it was, but from that first fight with Bermane Stiverne, he went on a serious decline. Well, we saw him actually box for 12 rounds.
Right.
See, so we know it's there. It's just we also know this is a cat that believes solely in his ability to knock you out. He don't care about nothing else.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, yeah, like I said, he's just backing his countrymen, and in retirement, you got to understand the mindset of guys kind of changes. You know, they start backing people that they didn't back before. You know, look at David Hayes signing Derek Chisora and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
You know, you start having a different mindset when you're sitting on the sidelines and watching, and you start having a better respect as a retired fighter or as a retired whatever you are, trainer, whatever you end up becoming. You start having a little bit more respect for certain fighters that you didn't have respect previously. That's all it is, man.
Because you know what's tripped out to me is, and there's some motherfucker cats ain't gonna like. There was a point a lot of cats was considering looking at Tony Bellew, like, especially at that cruiserweight division. There was a lot of cats looking at Tony Bellew the same way he talking about Deontay Wilder.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Absolutely.
There was a lot of cats looking at Bellew the same way he talking about Deontay.
I was one of them. You know what I'm saying? So ever since he got knocked out by Adonis Stevenson or got his ass whooped by Adonis Stevenson, I was like, yeah, that's it for me. Yeah. Tony Bellew, oh yeah, that's it for me, bro. But it is what it is, man. But what you got for me next?
All right, man. This is here we go. So Pedro Diaz believes Ivan Baranchyk. Hold on. Ivan Baranchyk. Did I say that name right? I had to say it twice to make sure.
You said it right, man.
Ivan.
You said it right. I don't know how the fuck you did it, but
mark that shit on your calendar. God damn it. 3 Kings Podcast, episode 7. I've been saying all the names right. This is a rare goddamn occasion. You know, it also helps that, you know, I write the topic, so I was able to rehearse the name.
Yeah.
He says he blows through the WBSS tournament. Now, his next opponent coming up is he's going to be defending his IBF title, I believe, against Josh Taylor.
Yes, sir.
Very interesting fight.
May 18th.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep, May 18th. So that's going to be an interesting fight. But to say he blows through the tournament, whoo,
he actually said he's unstoppable. That's how he put it. But it's same deal. Same deal.
Now, here's the thing with that though, right? Because there's some, like the two biggest names that everybody is thinking is going to wind up facing each other. Of course, it's going to be Regis Prograis and Josh Taylor. Okay. Prograis is going to fight Relic, and Taylor's about to fight Baranchyk. So if they win, they'll wind up be facing each other. But when I look, like if I just take Regis Prograis for example, and I look at some of the cats he faced, then I look at some of the cats that Baranchyk faced, right? And you can say what you want. It's something to say about the quality of fighters that you're not supposed to beat, undefeated top heavyweight prospects that was coming up, fights where people thought, okay, well, you're going to lose because you don't do this. And Regis is like, there was time they say he couldn't box and he outboxed him. There was time that they say, well, he might not have the power. He like what he did when he ran over, what's that cat name? That was it Pedro Diaz Jr.? Who was it that he fought? That guy that Regis fought and ran him over.
Oh, Julio Diaz.
Julio Diaz, right. Julio Diaz ran him over, and everybody was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So, and then Josh Taylor. We've seen Josh Taylor.
Right.
All right. I remember when he fought, the way Josh Taylor beat O'Hara Davies, and then he went on and just, dominated cats like Victor Postal, and even, him knocking out Ryan Martin. Okay. Yeah. Even him knocking out Miguel Vasquez, right? So These two dudes have been in with some serious battle-tested dudes. Okay, Ivan Baranchyk, and I'm not trying to knock him, but fighting cats like Anthony, Yiggett, you know what I'm saying, Kenyon Smith.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
Okay. Now I will give him Pierre Petrov. He was decent, but fighting them kind of dudes, you know what I'm saying, or fighting I think what that Zaman Wang or whoever who only had like 9 fights or something like that when he was already like 17, 18 fights deep. By fighting them kind of dudes, I can't necessarily say that, but Pedro Diaz is supposed to say that about his fighter. Because if I'm a fighter and my trainer don't talk like that about me, your ass is fired.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right. So I'm not upset at him saying that. I'm just the thing is for me is when I look, when you break it down in X's and O's, and I look at Regis and the level of his opponents, and I look at Josh Taylor, the level of his opponents, his progression, how he's been tested, how Josh Taylor's been tested. I haven't seen that from Ivan Baranchyk for me to say or believe what Pedro Diaz is saying, but Pedro Diaz must say that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's marketing. It's business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I always tell y'all it's business. You know what I'm saying? You got to get your fighter out there. Just like my man Julio said, Baranchyk ain't beating Josh Taylor. I don't think so either. Josh Taylor has too many tools in his chest to be able to beat an Ivan Baranchyk. But Baranchyk is no joke. Don't get it twisted. He's a very good fighter. I'm gonna comment on Peter Petrov. It was a good fight, good win for him. But Peter Petrov, whenever that name comes to me, all I think about is how this motherfucker ducked an opportunity to fight Errol Spence for the IBF title.
I agree.
You know what I'm
saying?
Yep. That's all I could think about. You know what I'm saying? So he's actually turned down a lot of situations where he could have actually been getting opportunities to be out in the spotlight instead of getting his ass dusted by Ivan Baranchyk. But it is what it is. That's what he chose. But at the end of the day, Baranchyk is no slouch, man. A lot of people are counting him out. I think it's a closer fight than people believe. But I do have Josh Taylor winning that fight. Understand, Josh Taylor had a very close fight against Victor Postal.
Yes, he did.
This is a Victor Postal that was already thoroughly dominated by Terrence Crawford, right? And a Victor Postal that didn't look good in his comeback fight after Terrence Crawford. Actually, a lot of people thought he might have lost that comeback fight.
You
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that.
So he went in there against Josh Taylor, and it was actually a very good fight. It was very close. I believe it was a split decision, majority decision, or a close unanimous decision win. I can't remember, but it was close. You see what I'm saying? Josh Taylor's a good fighter, but there are some flaws with Josh Taylor. All right. And Ivan Baranchyk has the opportunity. I mean, I'm not going to break it all down because we over time already, but Baranchyk does have the ability and opportunities to exploit those flaws that Josh Taylor brings into the ring. But I do think he wins. But I think the buck stops when he gets to the final. I think Regis Prograis beats Josh Taylor. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Karo Relic has a chance against Regis Prograis. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be easy work for the WBA regular title. You know what I mean? Easy work.
Is that the regular title or the super title?
The regular.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, it's going to be easy work for that regular title. You know what I mean? So, but as far as I'm concerned, Regis is already in the final. It's just really who is Regis going to fight? You know what I'm saying? Baranchyk or Taylor. But I like that fight, man. And actually, you got to understand when a guy is hard-willed and very determined to get to where he needs to be, and he's a good fighter, it's hard to beat those guys, even if you are Josh Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very intriguing, man. We'll see. All right, let's go to the next one. This is gonna be the last one. We had a topic that we wanted to discuss. Basically talking about how promoters groom their fighters and all that. But we over time, Bo and I might go on before Thursday and talk about this. Give you guys, a 15 to 30-minute video talking about the grooming process for prospects and shit like that. So we're gonna take that one off. And the last one is gonna be about a young fighter at light heavyweight who has 17 straight knockout victories. Okay. He's 18-0 with 17 knockouts. Only his first professional fight went the distance. And his name is Anthony Sims Jr. He is a Eddie Hearn's protege fighting on DAZN.
Midwest, baby. Woo woo.
Hey, before you do that, understand that what I'm about to do next is going to not be a good look for him.
Oh, I know, but I already know.
You know what
I already know.
he got his 17th straight knockout last weekend. But he's been fighting the worst competition he could fucking find. My man has literally. We used to say this about Gennady Golovkin as like a metaphor, an analogy, right? But this shit is literal when it comes to Anthony Sims Jr. Anthony Sims Jr. was literally in whatever whip he drives. Comes to the stoplight, looks to his left, and sees a nigga in some dirty ass clothes with a cup out asking for change. He says, "Hey man, I could get you some money. I'm looking for a fight next week." That's exactly who Anthony Sims been fighting 17 fights straight. Now, Bo, remind me, you knew the rankings at one point. I'm not sure if you know them by heart. I can't remember them. Anthony Sims Jr., I believe, is ranked in the top 10, and one of them goddamn major sanctioned about it. You know what I'm saying? I just can't remember which one. If he's not, it is what it is. But it doesn't matter. That would help my argument. But even if he's not ranked in the top 10 and none of them, he still needs to step it up. He's better than it's like a senior in high school playing one-on-one basketball with a sixth grader. And he's playing like all the sixth graders on the yard. Yeah, dog, you next. You next. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's like, man. He's never going to lose fighting these guys. He's way better than these guys. Even at one point, which was kind of peculiar to me, it was I can't remember what DAZN card it was, but it was the fight before this one, the last one he had this weekend. And the crowd was booing Anthony Sims Jr. He was a great kid. He's a great kid. He's very humble. You know what I'm saying? But the crowd was.
It wasn't the fight me and you went to, right?
No, it was the one before. It was the one after that one.
If the one after that one, it was either Mario, Aguilar, or Kobe Cortier.
Nigga, I'm not gonna know their names. These are literally niggas that live underneath the overpass, dog. Know these niggas' names, man. These niggas literally work at Taco Bell when they not in the ring, bro. I don't know these cats. I'm just saying it was the fight after the one we went to, but before the last one. The crowd was booing the fuck out of Anthony Sims Jr. They're like, "What is he doing?" You know, he was in the media like talking shit out of character, like running his mouth, talking shit, trying to rhyme and shit, trying to be like, you know, fucking Muhammad Ali and shit, and it was corny as fuck. I mean, it was just terrible. It was terrible for the marketability, for his marketability. And what was peculiar to me was Eddie Hearn, who promotes the kid, literally went in front of the media and was like, "Yeah, that was a terrible matchup. I don't know what they were thinking." He said they were thinking, you know, this kid really needs to be matched up better than that. And I'm looking, I'm like, "Nigga, you the one that did it." Mm-hmm. So you just really gonna throw the kid under the bus, dog? Like you had nothing to do with it? So Eddie Hearn has claimed that Anthony Sims Jr. will be in a title fight this year. So that means either Dmitry Bivol, Artur Beterbiev, Sergey Kovalev, or Alexander Gvozdyk. Bo, is he ready for any of those four?
Okay, before I answer that, what is your definition of ready?
Okay.
Define ready.
Good. Okay. Let's do two ways.
Okay.
First way, is he ready skill-wise? And second way, is he ready in terms of where his career is now?
Okay. First way, no. Second way, hell no. And this is because iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
Right. And how you define how your guys are is who you put them in there with to either help them with their skills, where they can find something. Like fighters find things out about themselves in actual fights. Okay. You find out if you are tough enough to be a fighter. You find out if you do have what it takes to be a counterpuncher. You find out, okay, what we did work on in the gym, I can not just do it once or twice, I can do it on a regular basis and do it perfectively too and efficiently. So you find out so many things about yourself in fights. When you're fighting fights where you don't have to go to a plan B, when you're fighting fights where you can do this one thing and it works for you every single time, you're not learning nothing about yourself and you're not technically working on your craft to build you up to be a championship fighter. So when you get in the ring with guys like Demetrius Bivol, who's not only is battle tested, but you see that skill set is off the chain. Like Arturo Beterbiev, say what you want about him being robotic, but we know he has the tools. Okay, like a Kovalov who has readjusted himself by going back to the basics and picking and bringing in new trainer. What's his name? Buddy McGirt. Right, McGirt. Okay, and then of course Alexander Gavotzik. So when I'm looking at that landscape, no, because you haven't shown me anything. And then on top of that, let me just say this: I've stood next to Anthony Sims Jr. It's not that big of a 175 pounder in my honest opinion.
No, he's not.
Okay, he's not. He's not that big of a 175 pounder, right? You know, so when you're talking about the top guys of the division, you have to do more than fight and catch 28 and 21, 13 and 12, 19 and 5, 10 and 12, 23 and 28. You at this point of 18 and 0, and it's funny because I always hear cats telling me about PBC fighters and who they fight, okay, and all of that shit. But Eddie Hearns is getting away with putting this dude Anthony Sims Jr. in these kind of matchups where he's not being tested for us to really find out who he is and what does he have and what is he made of. So if you're talking about putting this dude in a title fight where they're doing him no favors right now, so his next opponent has got to be a top 15 motherfucking light heavyweight.
Yeah,
it has to be.
I agree. Put him in there. Put him in there with Sully. He's looking for a dance partner.
No, he's not ready for that. He's not ready for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sullivan Barrera might fuck him up, man.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. I don't even think he's ready for a Joshua Buatsi.
Oh no. Well, Joshua Buatsi is he's one of those special fighters that doesn't have that many fights that's actually very, very good.
Very good.
You know what I'm saying?
I would say more like a Colin Johnson or Enrique, Corling, something like that.
Nigga, I know Jose Burton is a cruiserweight, but he said he'll go to light heavyweight. I like that fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He was actually at light heavyweight when he got knocked out by damn, what's that cat's name, dog? That he got knocked out by Callum Johnson.
Okay.
Frank Buglioni. When Frank Buglioni knocked out Jose Burton, you know what I'm saying? He was at light heavyweight. I like the fight against Anthony Sims Jr. I think he's on that level. You know what I'm saying? So, but they need to do something. They need to put a name in front of this guy, man.
They do.
I mean,
Eric, I don't think he be. I think Pasquale is too much for him. I think Pasquale, that's just too much experience. It'll be a good fight, but I think just the experience of Pasquale might be a little bit too much for the kid.
Mm-hmm.
See, that, you know what I'm saying? Because say what you want about Pasquale, he has experience is another factor too that you have to you can't put him in there with guys that have a higher value than him from an experience standpoint, even from a boxing standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
That's why this bring along process has been kind of hard for him because, it's a bad spot for the kid, to be honest with you, because you're 18 and 0, and you're in probably one of the rising division in boxing. But about 2-3 fights ago, man, he should have been in. Now 2 or 3 fights ago, he should have been there with Pasquale so we can see what he got. But now he didn't had these fights on the regular. This last guy he knocked out, he had 20 losses, and he went down like paper.
Yeah, it was a stupid fight. Another stupid ass fight. 3 in a row that since we've known about the kid in this particular capacity, it's 3 dumbass fights in a row, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let Jean Pascal get beat up a couple more times, maybe a fight or 2, and then bring him in there. You know what I'm saying? Like remember before Pascal lost to Dimitri Bivol, he actually gave a undefeated prospect his first loss, who actually was just fought. I think he's a Roy Jones Jr. fighter, if I'm not mistaken. He just fought recently. You know what I'm saying? So he's actually not that bad of a fighter, and Pascal was able to beat him. So yeah, I don't think Pascal's the right guy. Jeff Lacey, man. Is Jeff Lacey still fighting? I don't even know if that motherfucker's still active.
Y'all digging up some serious skeletons and shit. You talking about some Jeff Lacey?
I don't even know if that motherfucker's still active. For his sake, I hope he's not. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. At the end of the day, he needs to step up and do something, man. He needs to do something.
You know what? I put it like this, dog. Check it out. His last 5 fights have a ratio of 93 and 59. The win-loss column. 93 and 59.
Man, come on, man. Come on, man. And the opponents that didn't have a large quantity of losses, they
didn't have a lot of fights either. Yeah,
they didn't have a lot of fights, and they weren't good fighters. You know what I'm saying? They were just dudes with pretty much padded records. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But listen, man, he's a good kid. One of our staff members on 3kingsboxing.com knows the guy. He actually lives down the street from him. You know, we'll probably be interviewing him pretty soon. He's a very good kid. I like how humble he is. You know, he has a good story and everything, dealing with I believe his mother had passed away, if I'm not mistaken. So he's got a good story.
Yes, he does.
But at the end of the day, man, this is business. And, you know, understand that whatever you do, you're going to be scrutinized, you know, negatively or positively. You see what I'm saying? So,
but no, he's not ranked by none of the sanctioning bodies. I mean, the kid hasn't even won a minor title yet. So he's not ranked by none of the sanctioning bodies, no. Yeah,
man, he needs to get himself out there, man. Real talk. All right, man, we're going to end it here. Go ahead and do my disclaimer. Fighters, promoters, managers, trainers, anybody else in the world of boxing that is some type of entity, or you believe you're an important entity, you know, you believe you're a big fish. If we said anything that offended you, you know what I'm saying, just understand it's entertainment. And if you did feel offended, understand that any one of these fights, you can easily come see me. All right? If you don't like the podcast, you don't like the banter, you don't like how we talk shit, and, you know, pretty much how this is a rated TVMA podcast, you can always go to 3kingsboxing.com, where you can see everything we talk about in article format, where there's not too much of the cursing and all the other things, that talking shit about different fighters, et cetera, et cetera. Everything is completely down the middle, as this podcast is, but that is rated G, down the middle. All right. Also, while you're there, go ahead and hit the donate button and support the authors. The blood, sweat, and tears that they put into what they do every single day is phenomenal, and I'm glad to have these guys on my staff. Shout out to Mike Wilson, who's on the staff that was in the chat, and shout out to everybody else that is on my staff, and that makes sure that 3 Kings Boxing is still a working entity as we progress forward. I would also like to thank my man Bo for being on another podcast that we destroyed. Also, guys, share this podcast. Y'all know this is the realest podcast y'all gonna hear. Educational, funny, entertaining, all of that shit. Y'all know this is the dopest one y'all gonna find on YouTube, boxing related. So go ahead and like, comment, and share. The more you like and share, the more it gets out there and the more people are going to see it. So help me build this podcast, guys. I appreciate you guys being in the chat. Also, help us out on Twitter.com at 3kingsboxing, Instagram at 3kingsboxing, of course, Facebook.com/3kingsboxing.
Let me just say this real quick. Pay attention Thursday, because that bring along process, that's going to hurt some feelings, and it's going to be some serious facts with that one.
Shit, we might do that before Thursday.
Yeah, man, we might.
Yeah, because that one needs a little bit of time, maybe 15 to 30 minutes of its own segment. So, you know, just be on the lookout for this channel. I might throw some shit up there, like I threw that Latino interview featuring my man Bo. Hey, Bo, man, why don't you get a guys a little taste of what you said, man? Why don't you do a line? You know. Yo, they said you didn't have motherfuckers coming up like Bo speaks fluent Spanish. Niggas is tripping, man. I liked it though, man. That was an excellent interview, man. Real talk. If y'all haven't heard it, go look at it. But you know, there's subtitles on there for us, you know, niggas out here that don't. Yeah, Telemundo Bo.
Christopher Tom is ducking me, man. I told him I want him in the pit. He ducking me.
Oh man, dog. Hey,
Chris know ducking me, man.
Chris know his shit, man. That's a good matchup, man. Hey, y'all can talk about that whole Paul Williams Floyd Mayweather shit. Maybe he might get riled up.
Hey, Chris is ducking me, but I tell you what, since you ducking me, man, you got to go through the ranking system and get in that Dillian Whyte Mando slot.
Woo! Hey, that motherfucker gonna be holding that silver title for 16 years, bro. That motherfucker gonna be holding that silver title. Hell yeah. Maybe we should put him and Tanner, man. Real talk, that'd be an excellent matchup.
I think so too.
Both Tanner, of them are.
Yeah, Tanner's real good.
Tanner's a very good boxing historian. That motherfucker knows his shit. So is Chris. Chris knows his shit. Like this motherfucker was talking about
man, that nigga just know names. That's all.
No. That nigga was talking about some background information that happened in like '97. That shit stifled me. I was like, oh shit, damn, nigga, I didn't even know that.
But you weren't born around there. You was, you know what I'm saying? You was still, look, I was old enough to know what was going on. That's what I'm saying, man. He just know names. He ducking me, son. Quit ducking me.
I was in the 8th grade, nigga. 7th grade, 8th grade.
Quit ducking me. And I want that Oscar De La Hoya. I want that Canelo and Golovkin split 90-10, bro.
Yo, damn, 90-10. No negotiation, bro. Take it or leave. That's the damn Anthony Joshua Dillian Whyte split. Take it or leave it, bro. All right, y'all, man. I appreciate you guys coming in, stopping by. The same people keep supporting us. I love you fellas, man. We out.